randomly to people who have signed the petition every day from now until the election. Randomly to people who have signed the petition every day from now until the election. So, you know, one of the challenges we're having is like, well, how do we get people to know about this petition? Because the legacy media won't report on it. You know, not everyone's on X. So I figure, how do we get people to know about it? Well, this news, I think, is going to really fly. So every day between now and the election, we'll be awarding $1 million. So I actually lived in Pennsylvania for 3 years, by the way. I'm no stranger to the state. I lived in the city for 3 years. I went to school here. So, you know, so I know the state. I'm not some, you know, just arrived situation. You know, I've been here, spent 3 years of my life here. So it's a great state. Love it, you know. And yeah, yeah, it was awesome. But, you know, the thing is, like, I was talking to friends of mine who, like when I went to Penn, it was very dangerous at the time, but everyone thought it would get better it would get better as the years went on. You know, one of the issues was like students would get killed from time to time, and that's pretty bad, obviously. And I was talking to someone who recently graduated from Penn. They said, actually, it's worse. And I'm like, it's worse? What the hell is going on? You know? It's like, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, the reality is that if someone is a violent criminal, you know, where they either are unable to control their violence or they like it, if you do not incarcerate them, they will hurt people. That's what it comes down to. So if you don't put hardened criminals in jail, they will kill people. That's what it comes down to. And that's, unfortunately, the situation we have here is that the Democratic Party will not put hardened criminals in prison. And so they roam free, and they prey upon you, and your kids, and your family, and your friends. This is insane. How can we be, the most powerful country in the world, and it's not safe to walk around our cities? What the hell is going on? Yeah. I mean, Soros, honestly, misanthropic. For someone who has, sort of claims to be doing good, but actually he is not. He is tearing down the fabric of society. So terrible. Yeah. But I think it's just unbelievable that you should be able to feel safe walking around American cities. And it's not just, Philadelphia has a challenge, New York has a challenge, every major city in the US. Like my mom lives in New York, for example. 3 of her friends have been assaulted on the street this year. It's like, and it's getting worse. And now, when she takes her dog for a walk, she has to stay, inside of the building so she can call for help if need be. This is not the future we want. And if we get 4 more years of this, I mean, we're going to be fully Mad Max, And it's like, well, it's nice to watch a Mad Max movie, but we don't want to be in the Mad Max movie, okay? So yeah, and then the whole border thing is just insane. I always want to try to figure out what is the truth of the matter, what's really going on. So on the border situation, it's like, is it real or is it not real? So I went there in person, and I just literally live streamed what I saw. And our border looks like World War Z, okay? It's like zombie apocalypse, It's insane. So this is, if you don't have a border, you don't have a country. Yeah, I mean, we're just saying, like, we have to have real borders, or if you don't have real borders, you don't have a real country. And obviously, as someone who's an immigrant, I'm pro-immigrant. I just want to make sure that people who come here are going to be assets to society, and that they're going to raise our standard of living, I think the sort of sports team analogy is a good one. So, like, let's say you're a pro sports team, you want to win the championship, then, well, you want aces on your team, obviously, because they help the whole team win. So the same is true for immigration. If we have this sort of equivalent of, like, Kobe Bryant or Steph Curry or LeBron or something like that, they want to join the team. Like, absolutely, of course. Do you like winning? Yeah, okay. But if they can't play basketball, they shouldn't be joining. So that's real important. And and then something that doesn't get a lot of attention is the fact that the federal government is spending America into bankruptcy, which is crazy. It's sort of, and that's really what leads to inflation. Is that when the government spends more than it brings in, that's what causes inflation. Yeah, so it's just a pernicious tax. So there has to be we have to radically reduce the amount of government spending so that we don't rack up a debt that is impossible to repay and drive the country to bankruptcy. So, I mean, just basic stuff, really, These shouldn't be controversial topics. It's just like normal. Common sense, exactly. And you're seeing all these attacks on freedom of speech, and they're like attacking me for freedom. It's like, yo, that's the First Amendment, like literally the first one. Tells me it's a high priority. And the reason they had the First Amendment was because the countries people came from, if you spoke your mind, you'd be imprisoned or killed. That's why you have it. That's really important. And then the right to bear arms is also really important. That's there to protect, you know. I mean, the Second Amendment is there to protect the First Amendment. So, as soon as the government can disarm the people, they can do anything they want. And we've seen this in one country after another. They take the guns away from the people, then they do fake elections, and then the people try to protest and they just get shot. That's what happened in Venezuela recently. They had a fake election. Maduro lost, like massively lost, like 70% loss. And he's like, "Oh no, I won." And and everyone's like, "Oh, you didn't win." There were big protests in the street. But the thing is that Chavez, when he came into power, took away everyone's guns. So now you're facing, soldiers with assault rifles. Where you're going to throw some sticks at them or something? Use finger guns? It doesn't work. So Maduro, even though he lost the election, is still in power, and that's the kind of risk that we face. So we got to do everything possible to protect the Constitution, and I think this is yeah. So for all those reasons, that's why after thinking about it hard, it was very clear to me that Donald Trump has to win this election. It really does.